Hello, Dave here from Geeky Guys, back with another episode of 18 Days Until Halloween, 18 horror movies and 18 horror movie reviews. Now, unfortunately, I've not quite made the 18 up to Halloween, but I have a good excuse. Well, a couple of excuses. Really bad. I've been really bad with this bad cold and bad flu that's going around, so that's kind of kept me out of action for a little while, and then been busy with a few other bits, busy with work, so I've kind of missed a few here and there, but I'm still going to do them. I'm still going to do 18 because I said I was going to do 18, and even though we're just past Halloween now, I'm going to keep watching, I'm going to keep reviewing. You're going to get 18, so don't worry about that. So the one we're going to have a look at today is 1992's Braindead, which was known in the US as Dead Alive. Now, this is directed by a very well-known name these days. It's an early film from Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit fame, and he directed this film, and also one of his Lord of the Rings and Hobbit collaborators, Fran Walsh, also worked on the screenplay of this film as well, and obviously she very famously worked on the screenplay for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, basically writing J.R.R. Tolkien's work for the movie screen. So yeah, she's involved with him even at that early stage. It's a very schlocky, very sort of cheapy looking horror comedy. The effects are not that good, but it's kind of one of them where even though the effects aren't great and you can see they're not great, they're still kind of disgusting and still kind of bring things up in your mind that's kind of sicken you a little bit. So it's kind of one of those. It's been classed recently as one of the goriest films of all time as well, although it's kind of that, in that way I would say it's very similar to Evil Dead, that it's kind of very over the top and very like quite obviously fake in a lot of places, but what is insinuated is obviously bad and really bad and shocking, so it still kind of sort of works. It features a good cast. We've got Timothy Balm, we've got Diana Penalva, Elizabeth Moody and Ian Watkin, and it basically follows Lionel, a young man living in South Wellington in New Zealand, with his strict mother Vera. After Lionel becomes romantically entangled with a girl named Paquita, Vera is bitten by a hybrid rat monkey creature at the zoo while they're visiting the zoo. She's spying on them being there, and she ends up getting bitten, and she transforms into a similar thing to this creature and then into a zombie. And it's quite funny, whereas they kind of treat it like an illness and they keep her at home and they try and nurse her back to health even though she's falling apart and becoming this zombie, which is disgusting in some places but also very funny. Some very funny parts in it, and then obviously then she spreads it to other people in the population and it spreads a bit like wildfire, and they're having to try and stop it, but there's still that thing of where the son wants to protect his mother even though she's gone into this horrible, terrible state. It received some positive reviews from critics when it came out, although it was a box office bomb. It had a budget of 3 million, which is amazing really for the time and for the type of film it was, and for saying at that time he hadn't got a lot of film credits to his name, Peter Jackson. It was very good that they got that money spent on it, but it only made about 243,000 at the box office, so obviously lost a lot of money. But again, still a very good, very entertaining, very funny film. As I say, there's lots of crazy bits. There's bits where there's like a baby which is caught this virus which is just like biting people when they look in the pram. There's a rather humorous vicar, holy person as well, which is good. And it's as I say, it's set in New Zealand and in lots of places around New Zealand, mainly in Wellington, but it's a lot of fun. Like I say, one of those over the top gory movies, a bit like Evil Dead. It's got those vibes going on with it. and not a long film, only 104 minutes, so it's not particularly very long film, but reasonably longish, I suppose, for the type of thing. But yeah, so it's very interesting, especially if you're a fan of Peter Jackson. It's quite fun to go back and look at this early film and see where he came from, and what he was interested in doing at the time, and how he was telling stories and how he was going about making films. It's interesting in that way, and it's an entertaining film in of itself as well. As I say, if you don't want to take things too seriously and you just want to have a bit of a laugh, you want to be disgusted a little bit, have a bit of a laugh, and yeah, just a bit of a silly schlocky horror, then it's very much worth giving a watch, I would say. And I would say as well that yeah, I mean, it did win a few awards as well. Timothy Balm at the Fanta Festival in 1992 won for Best Actor. They also won an award for Best Special Effects, which, they were a bit crappy, but even because of the way they went about it, it still was impressive. It still was good. So that one. The Tigers Film Festival, Bob McCarran and Richard Naylor won an award for Best Special Effects. Amsterdam Fantastic Film Festival, Peter Jackson won a Golden Scream Award. Fantasporto, Peter Jackson won Best Film. Steve Ingram won Best Special Effects. Yeah, they also got a Saturn Award that they were nominated for but didn't win. They won Best Genre Video Release at the Saturn Awards in 1994. And they also won at the New Zealand Film and TV Awards. So it did quite well really on the circuit, and it is quite well respected, which is amazing really for, like I say, quite a cheap looking schlocky silly comedy horror. But it kind of shows you how good he was even back then, and even though 3 million was a lot, even now it's a fair bit, but for that type of film, but it just shows how well he used that, and he got a good team together and he made it as good as he could make it and told the story he wanted to tell it, which I think that experience probably helped him quite a bit when he came to making Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Probably those experiences of that kind of filmmaking and putting a team together probably helped him quite a lot work out the best way of going forward when he came to tackle Tolkien's work and put Lord of the Rings on the big screen. So yeah, a lot of fun. I think people will like it. Probably don't be eating anything or drinking milkshakes when you watch it, 'cause there's some pretty horrible moments that might make you feel a little bit sicky. But yeah, a lot of fun, very funny, very silly, some shocking, horrible bits as well. And yeah, give it a watch if you haven't already seen it. Let us know what you think. If there's anything we've missed, then obviously let us know. If there's any other horror films that you'd like us to review, obviously let us know. There's still a few to go, about another 4 or 5 I think to get to the 18, so always open for suggestions. Obviously like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Our latest ShowPod episode came out only a few days ago, so check that out. And yeah, I will see you on the next one for the next horror movie review.